It's the 11th episode on data analysis with Excel. Today we'll be talking about index and match. So index and match is like the VLOOKUP function, but more advanced and then works upon the abilities of the VLOOKUP. So you ever get stuck because VLOOKUP can only search from the left to the right? What if you want to look backward or between two tables that aren't perfectly matched? Okay, so index and match is one of the perfect tool in Excel that can do that for us once and for all. So using VLOOKUP at some point is limited. Then the index and match comes into play. So we have data here, very small, that will help us to cover what we're learning today. So in today's video, we'll be talking about the difference between index, match, and VLOOKUP. And also, you combine index plus match for flexible lookups, right? Handle errors with if error. Also make the formulas dynamic with absolute references. And we try to make use of everything reflected in index and match. So this data here will help us make use of the knowledge learned. Let's quickly make our data very nice so that we can begin. Alright, so we have a data set containing the product ID, the product name, category, price, quantity sold, and then total sales. So before combining them, let's understand how each function works perfectly. Okay, so we take index separately, we look at how index works, we take match and also look at how it works, and at the end we can combine them and see how they also work together. Okay, so for index returns a value from a range based on position. Index returns a value from a range based on position. So basically, you ask Excel, give me the third item in the list. Okay, so the range will be the list looking at, and you tell Excel, okay, I want the third item, the fifth item, and so on. So let's try that quickly and see. So in the H column, we can type it over here. So equals index. Okay, index. So we have the array, row num, and then the column num. So we want the third item in. Okay, so we have, let's say C2 to C9, comma. So we want the third item, so 3, then we close. So we have accessories. Same way, we want to know for prices, that's the D column, so D2 straight to D9, and then we hit enter. We have 35 as a price. So the index checked through our column D2 to D9 and then gave us the third value. So forgetting to specify the correct row number by fixing the range boundaries. Okay, so let's see. In case you forget about the row number and hit enter, the code is incomplete. the code is incomplete, so it has listed the whole range for us again, but we needed a specific row number. All right, so we needed the fourth or the third. We get a value. So that's it for index. Let's also check for match. So match returns the position of a value in a list. You see the dynamics. Index, you tell Excel the position or the row in a specific column, and it gives you the value there. This is very helpful when you are working on a very large data set. You want the 30th value and so on. You don't have to go scroll through to pick that value. It just delays your time. But when you use index, you just type, you pick it out for you simply. So you can continue that and be picking all the random values you want to work out something. All right, let's try match. So the match will return the position of a value in a list. Okay, and then in the formula you normally see 0 in there. The 0 okay, so the 0 in there means exact match. So we want Excel to look at the exact position and give us what we want. Okay, so let's try the formula equals match. Okay, so equals match. We want to look for the position of the word keyboard. So double quotation keyboard, close. All right, and then the lookup array. Keyboard can be found in the B, all right, the B column. So you have B2 to B9, comma, sorry. Then we bring 0 to tell Excel we want the exact value. Then we close the bracket, we hit enter. So now we have 3 there, meaning keyboard is on the 3rd row. All right, this is so simple. So imagine you have a lot of items, you cannot scroll through one after the other to see where maybe a particular value or item is located. You can use the match and then you get it at quickest possible time. So leaving the last argument blank, default to approximate match. So let's see. Let's remove the 0 and then see what happens. Sorry, comma, then enter. So this is the approximate. Okay, so in here we are probably getting the correct answer, but leaving the 0 will compromise your results. Sometimes you will get a different value. All right, so please take your time and then remember the syntax. Always bring 0 for you to get the exact value you are looking for. So you've treated index separately, match separately. You have to combine them and then see how they work together. So now let's combine index and match to make a lookup that can search in any direction at all. Unlike VLOOKUP where it will search from left to right, the index plus the match search in any direction to get you the value you want. Okay, so in H6 we have equals index, bracket opens. So what are you looking out for? We want to find, okay, the price for keyboard. All right, the price for keyboard is 35, but imagine you have a lot of data in there, so you want to combine index and match to pick out the price of keyboard for us. So index equals, we are looking at the price column for index, so D2 column D9, comma, then our match comes in, match, then bracket opens, the keyword is what? Keyboard. Then keyboard can be found in the column product name, so B2 to B9, comma, then we have our exact matching value 0. And since we open two brackets, we close it 2 times. Alright, so we are having 35. So this 35 is the price of keyboard, right? Yes, but index and match was able to look at our keyword from the product name, and also the column, it should pick the value we are looking for. As simple as that. So it's looking at both directions, from left and also watching the right, where you can also watch the right to the left. So match finds the row, then index retrieves the corresponding value. Unlike VLOOKUP, this doesn't care about column order. Okay, so with respect to how our columns have been arranged, index and match doesn't care, but VLOOKUP is specific on that. So if there's any mismatch, see that you get different output when you use a VLOOKUP. But at some point, using the index and match is preferred over the VLOOKUP. So selecting mismatched ranges, okay, won't give us correct output. You can also try that and see. So for the range for the index, we saw D2 to D9. Let's try and make the range for the product name B3 to B9. Let's see what happens. So in this case, the alignments are different. Can you see that? The ranges are different. Let's see. So we are having 20, and 20 isn't the price for keyboard, but that is for mouse. So you see the mismatch here. Always make sure the column ranges are the same to give us the correct answers we are looking for. Make sure the ranges are matching. If it is B2 for the first one, the other column should also start with the second row to get the correct answers you want. So match gives us the row and index fetches us the value we want. Okay, so let's try something. Let's say we have keyboard written here. Alright, so we want to know what the price, all right, the price for keyboard. You have a different sheet with the product names, so you're going to use index and match to fetch, but in this case we are not going to use the direct cell content, but we use cell referencing, so that anytime the value in the cell changes, our output for the price too changes. So let's try that and see. So equals index, bracket opens, D2 to D9, okay, and comma. We have the match, bracket opens. So we can see keyboard in J4, alright, comma. Then we can see keyboard in the product name, so from B2 to B9, then comma, exact matching, so 0. We have 2 open brackets, so let's hit enter and see. We have 35. So what happens if you want to know the price for tablets without going to scroll? Come here, the price is 400 because we use cell referencing, so it picks the reference for tablets and then it changes. So you're going to have J5. Let's see, we want to know that of headphones. So we have, I want us to write one of the product IDs here. So P005 now equals index. So B2, B9, comma, match this value, okay, where we can see that in A2 through A9, right, as usual. So index and match will give us the product name linked to the product ID given. So it can check the left content and the right content and give us the answer. So product P005 is headphones. So index and match can also be very helpful when you are searching through your data for some key data points to work with. So the if error, you're going to try to add that, and anytime you get an error, it outputs a very nice message for us. Then you won't be seeing hash n/a, but you'll be seeing a nice message like maybe not found, right? You're going to clean up those ugly hash n/a errors when something isn't found. It's not appealing to your supervisors when they see that in your Excel work. You can make it nicely not found, so that when you see that, it's okay, so you cannot find this in our work and what have you. So let's try. Equals if error, bracket opens, index, bracket opens, B2 through to B9, comma, then match, this, comma, A2 to A9, comma, perfect match, bracket close, then comma. This is where our if error statement comes. So today we learned how index plus match gives you total lookup freedom. Okay, index returns a value, match finds its position, and combine both gets a flexible lookups. If error cleans up missing data, with a nice message output. So index and match also works in any direction, left, right, up or down. Some of the mistakes you see in index and match is mismatched ranges between index and a match. The moment you have mismatched ranges, you get wrong values. Make sure your index range column, your match range column are the same. You are starting from a second column row intersection, which is maybe column 2, the B, when I'm starting from 2 for index. You are doing same thing for the column in a match, also starting from 2, and the N cell 2 for the index column should be the same as the match column's last cell, right? That one will help you to get correct and accurate results using index and match.